introduce Roger Massey, who has come back as our delegation secretary. Roger, if you please take the roll.
Let's be roll for January 17th, delegation meeting, 8:30. Vice Chair Simmons.
Present.
Delegate Bagnall.
Present.
Delegate Barnes. Delegate Bartlett.
Present.
Delegate Chang.
Here.
Delegate Chisholm.
Here.
Delegate Howard. Delegate Jones. Delegate Kipke. Delegate Lehman.
Present.
Delegate Pena-Melnick.
Present.
Delegate Nakangolo. Delegate Rogers.
Here.
Delegate Smith. Chairman Pruski.
Here.
We have at least 9 members present. We have quorum.
Also, just be advised, Delegate Latoya Nakagolo is on the call, so I don't know if our mic is on. Can you hear us?
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I am here. Good
Okay.
morning.
Got it.
Thank you, Vice Chair Simmons. First of all, I want to take a moment before we get started to introduce our staff for this year's session. We introduced Roger Massey, who is our secretary, but we also have Matt Carpenter joining us again as our counsel. We'd like to welcome him back. And just briefly, I do want to thank one last time Chairwoman Bagnall and also Vice Chair Dana Jones for leading the delegation us through. So thank you again. Virtual applause to both of you for leading us through, and we appreciate your assistance. Today, we're going to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and prayer, and one of our newest delegates. So I'm going to turn over the floor to Latoya Nakagolo. I'll let you lead us in today's Pledge of Allegiance and prayer.
Well, thank you, Chair. It's an honor to be here among esteemed colleagues that I have worked alongside many years doing advocacy work. So I'm honored to be here serving as a delegate for District 31. I'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if we can please bow our head for prayer. Heavenly Father, we come before you with open hearts and seeking unity. We ask for your guidance as we navigate our differences and reminding us that we are all part of the same human family. And please guide us with wisdom, to listen with empathy, and to serve our communities with open hearts and open minds. Help us focus on what we share, our values, and our aspirations for a brighter future. Let us serve our communities with compassion and understanding. May we work together to uplift one another, support our neighbors, and foster peace in our nation. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Delegate Nakagolo. We appreciate you for giving the prayer this morning. We will move quickly and right into announcements before I get started. I do want to set a tone. I do like running quick meetings to the point and make sure that we get everybody out and the speakers are aware and everybody's aware. So thank you. So let's start with the introduction of guests. Today, we actually have Virginia Crespo from the Maryland Retired School Personnel Association. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for all the work that you did in education. And also, we have a special announcement. One of our own delegates, it was announced on the floor yesterday, has her birthday. Delegate Heather Bagnall. So we want to congratulate her. We hope you have a great day and blessings to you. And thank you and we want to recognize you for your birthday. So first order of business as we go forward, you were emailed, all of you, the delegation rules and procedures. Are there any questions before we entertain a motion? We would need a motion to approve. We're not going to do a roll call, but this will be all in favor, obviously second, and then approval. But I wanted to make sure we'll open it up for any questions first. Any questions about the delegation rules or procedures? And I know Matt Carpenter sent it out. Delegate Chisholm.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a point of clarification on protocol and decorum. The fourth item, it says, in the event a member uses inappropriate language, including the word fraud, liar, or lie. I'm assuming that means directed at somebody. I understand that part, but the term itself, I mean, frauds obviously can come up. We were defrauded out of millions of dollars for unemployment insurance. I just wanted a clarification on that.
Delegate Chisholm, that's my interpretation. I'll let council respond, but that is what you're saying is correct.
Right. It's, it's more about the spirit of the rule, using it towards a person in decorum.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Delegate Chisholm. Any other questions? I want to look for hands. Delegate Lehman, did I see you raise your hand or are you good? Okay. All right. All right. Is there a motion on the floor to approve the delegation rules and procedures?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the 2025 rules for the Anne Arundel County delegation.
Thank you. Thank you, Vice Chair Simmons, and thank you, Delegate Mary Lehman. We have a motion to approve in a second. All those in favor, if you would say aye, unmute, or wave your hand yes.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? The delegation rules and procedure votes are approved. Matt Carpenter, I just want to make sure we good. If you give me a thumbs up, thank you. All right, first vote down. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. All right, let's move in. We do have just a quick announcement. Some of you may or may not have received, but let you know that subcommittee assignments have been listed. I'm not going to go through those. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I did want to let you know that those committees will meet when necessary. Again, depending on the issue, we do have several delegation bills this year. Several are coming from Anne Arundel County. And we also have some of you that have also introduced bills. That process, by the way, generally is that when the bill is introduced, we hear it, we'll have a discussion on it, and then we kind of decide next meeting, obviously by vote, an affirmation on whether those become delegation bills. So again, those subcommittee assignments are there. We'll announce further announcements as they go on. Today, we have two presentations that are going to come forward. And just so I make this clear to the groups that are presenting, you get 2 minutes. So what I will do is try not to interrupt, but I'll wave and let you know your 2 minutes is up. We'll open it up for questions and move on. Again, these are legislative bond initiative presentations. We're trying to get through these as soon as possible. So the first group that I have for LBI is Glen Burnie Elks, and I believe Sylvia. Is Sylvia with us? And if you are, if you could unmute and recognize that you're here. Okay, I do not see Sylvia, so I will come back. Do we have Gork, the Gambrills Odenton Rec Council? Miss Muchler, if you are here, can you unmute and let us know that you could hear us? And are you ready to present for 2 minutes?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you, Miss Muchler. Representing Gork, you have 2 minutes to present on your proposed LBI. Please proceed.
Thank you. I'm here with another cohort of mine from Gork, Jamie, who also has worked on this project with me. So he will be chiming in if I have missed or misinterpreted anything. I think everyone was sent information. I just put a quick thing together to show our need for a Gork scoreboard at Gork Park. This scoreboard has been original to the park for so long. There are so many imperfections on this, including our name, which we like to be properly representative. It is just completely not functional. It's small. Not everyone can see it. It is just fiscally irresponsible to fix because of the parts and location, how far it is, everything that goes into it. And what we are asking for our proposal is this mock-up of a new scoreboard that would really be beneficial to the community to really go along with the aesthetic of the upgrades and renovations we've already done. As you can see, it looks way nicer and it's kind of bringing us into the modern era. It's multifunctional that we can use for multi-sports. It is very efficient, of course. The longevity on this is 10 to 15 years. They're thinking more of 20. We can use this for multiple sports instead of just football. It will just bring so much more light to the park because it is so bright and looks fantastic. This is going in. We are trying to do a lot of Gork renovations at this point and just really make the park look fantastic, going along with the renovation that the county did a few years ago, which really only touched part of the park. And we are really trying to get the rest of the park in line with that and ensure that people know this isn't just a certain sport renovation or just for sports. This is a community upgrade. We want to do as much as we can so it represents everybody. I mean, we are in a community of almost 15,000 people. So not just sports entities use this park, everybody does.
Ms. Mutchler, your 2 minutes are up. If you could just close, please.
Okay, so the reason we're doing this is to really get involved, get the park looking great so we can do more things like community events, which we have many plans with because this board will allow us to do many things like movie nights and such. So that's where we're at. Happy to answer questions.
Thank you so much. We do want to stick to the 2 minutes. I appreciate you coming out today. Let me open it up to fellow delegates that may have questions. I do not see any hands. We want to thank Ms. Butchler on behalf of the GORC organization. And it also looks like Sylvia is here from the Glenberty Elks. Sylvia, again, we want to welcome you. 2 minutes, and certainly make sure that you stick to that. And you may begin. Go ahead.
Good morning. Thank you for your patience. I was on at 8:15. Anyway, thank you for having me back. I had technical difficulties last time. I want to thank our sponsor, Delegate Mark Chang. I'm Sylvia Mentecchi on behalf of the Glenberty Elks Lodge 2266. Our lodge is a place where neighbors come together, families meet up, share meals. Our lodge provides access to 2 halls that are available for rent. Families and organizations throughout Anne Arundel County count on having a place to hold events like weddings, fundraisers, community meetings. And Anne Arundel County has lost a few larger venues with the closing of Michael's 8th Avenue, Blues on the Bay, and LaFontaine Blue. The Elks continues to invest in the community through programs that help children and veterans and other organizations and individuals. Our lodge actually supports and provides the hall for local scouts who themselves contribute to the community. A local umpire association and car clubs meet there, and we provide the halls to them for free. We rent our halls to all types of community organizations to hold their fundraisers like dance groups and athletic teams. We host our own bingos for Special Olympics, Spina Bifida. We have a free kids school supply backpack bingo. We do food drives, Toys for Tots, car shows, scholarships. We also support the Elks Camp Barrett in Anne Arundel County. Our building has a strong history and an even bigger need now in the community, but it's old and it's tiring. We're in desperate need of some repairs to our roof. Our heating systems, our ceiling tiles have all gotten ruined because of a roof issue. Our bathrooms and kitchens, very outdated, to the point where we've had to dig up the floors. We can't do it all with grants, and we continue to do our own fundraisers, and the community has really helped.
Sylvia, your 2 minutes are up, so if you could please close.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. We need our building to be safe and a good atmosphere for the community. And I just want to thank you for this opportunity. And we're finishing up a grant you guys gave us in 2023 that gave us new floors. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Silvo. We appreciate it. And I apologize because this is my first time trying to manage the meeting, but I believe Delegate Congolo had a question.
Sure.
I don't know if it was for Miss Delegate Mutchler, or excuse me, but Stephanie Mutchler, or for this group, but I'll let you unmute, Delegate, if you did have a question. I want to confirm that.
I did have a question. I was just curious because Miss Mutchler mentioned the scoreboard. I guess it was the original board. Just curious to know how old the board is that you were that you are seeking to get funding for.
Is Ms. Mutchler still with us?
It doesn't look like it.
No,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I don't see her in the meeting.
Okay. We can get that answer for you. We'll reach back out to make sure. I believe there was a one sheet paper that she was going to say share with the delegation, so we can answer that question. But I also want to open it up to any questions for Sylvia, who's still here. Thank you, Sylvia, again for your presentation. Are there any questions for Sylvia on behalf of the Glen Burnie Elks? Any questions regarding her proposed project? Awesome. Thank you again, Sylvia. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Certainly,
Thank
I know
you.
the delegation along with Gork and Stephanie as well. If you have any questions, part of our due diligence is to ask those questions and figure out the needs in our community. So we appreciate you reaching out. And before I do go, I did want to say and recognize we had two senators join us today. Senator Don Guile is here. I know Senator Shanika Henson also joined the meeting. Just want to recognize that they dropped in the meeting. So that is actually all on our agenda. I do want to make an announcement, though, for next week. We have County Executive Stuart Pittman joining us. I would suggest to the delegation, if there's anything that you would like covered, please reach out to his office. He will provide a summary in regards to what's happening in Anne Arundel County and what is the county's priorities. But I also think it's important ahead of time, if there's a topic that you would like covered, feel free to reach out and see if he can address that. But that is it for today's Anne Arundel County delegation meeting. Thank you to my vice chair and others. It looks like Delegate Lehman had a question. My apologies. Delegate Lehman.
No, thank you, but I believe Delegate Bartlett's hand was raised ahead of mine, so please take her first.
All righty. Delegate Bartlett. You have
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Delegate Lehman. I just wanted to ask you a question with respect to subcommittees. I apologize for going back on the agenda, and I wanted to know if you would take any requests with respect to the subcommittee that we wish to be on and that we do not wish to be on, and as well as any chair that any position as chair we might have held if we do not wish to have it anymore.
Absolutely. We're definitely willing to do that. As you know, there are a certain amount of positions that we need to match up. But yes, absolutely, Delegate Bartlett. Thank you. Delegate Lehman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and great job managing this first meeting. I appreciate you. My quick question is about future LBI requests. If you or perhaps Vice Chair Chang could clarify, because we discussed this issue yesterday. I have an LBI request I was looking at, but Delegate Bartlett kindly agreed to accept it. Is that deadline today to request drafting just like it is on all other bills, but presentation? There's a later date in January after today. Can anyone clarify that? Is that deadline today for making the request for, filling out the basic form and getting it into DLS?
So I know, and I'm going to let our delegation secretary, Roger Massey, we discussed an internal deadline to have LBI presentations in front of the delegation. As far as when they are due, I don't know if Vice Chair Chang for appropriations or anybody else has that official deadline, but I know at least for the delegation, we had a presentation deadline. So I'll let them both respond.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. Delegate Lehman, as far as your question with regards to the local bond initiatives, those initiatives can continue to be submitted throughout the rest of the session. And then, as you know, that there are times where there are bond initiatives that are submitted after the deadline that they can be requested to be referred to the committee if there's the votes that are attained through the chamber. So I think that as far as the deadline that it sounds like that you're discussing, that may be a county delegation deadline.
Okay, or the submission deadline. I know there's a deadline after which, of course, if you're making a request for anything, but it seems like it's often LBI issues where you have to stand up on the floor and make up some silly story about, why it's late. But okay, thank you. I think that answers it. I could follow up with you offline, but thank you.
Yeah, I think also what's helpful too is that with the different chambers receiving or working on the budgets at different times, that it is helpful to have these deadlines that are set by the county delegations. That way they're able to work on it on a delegation and county basis and then be able to submit that request and priorities list towards the full budget and appropriations committees. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And this is Roger Massey. We set those deadlines. We want to attempt to get the organizations capability to present. I mean, 2 minutes isn't a lot, but it's enough to give the delegation and even more importantly, the subcommittee time to look at these LBIs. And they need to look at the LBIs and they need to work across, Senate and the House. And that way, we don't want to go into mid-March still looking at LBIs being presented and not have enough time to make everybody's got to do their due diligence. So that's why we're trying to set those times. Thank you.
I understand. Thank you.
Thank you. It looks like we have one last question. Delegate Schmidt.
Yes, thank you, Chair Pruski. Sorry for my delay getting on. If there's a vote on the bylaws, I'd like to be recorded in the green. I was sequestered at breakfast with the governor. Sorry for my delay of jumping on here.
I'm sure Secretary Massey can.
Got it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Only if you got a note from the governor, if he was willing.
I got a selfie. Does that qualify?
Okay, I'll take it.
I mean,
All right,
thank you, Vice Chair.
Thank you so much. So just to wrap up, just a couple action items too, and a few other notes. Delegation dues, our secretary will send out a reminder about that. We will be collecting those again. That will come in an email. If you have any questions about subcommittee assignments, please stop by. We'll have that discussion. And again, County Executive Stuart Pittman will be joining us next week. That is all on the agenda. I will hear a motion to adjourn if appropriate, but I'll leave it up to you.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you again, once again, for our delegation meeting. Everyone have a great weekend and